Steelers Nation, welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's on everyone's mind. Are our playoff hopes in jeopardy? After a tough loss to the Cleveland Browns, the road ahead for Pittsburgh looks challenging. But hey, this is Steelers football. We thrive under pressure. Before we jump in, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates on your favorite team. Let's talk about where the Steelers stand and what lies ahead. Heading into Week 12, things were looking bright. The Steelers had an 8-2 record, a strong lead in the AFC North, and momentum on their side. But after a stunning upset by the Browns, the narrative has shifted. Now, with a daunting schedule ahead, analysts like Jason McIntyre and Colin Cowherd are raising questions about whether Pittsburgh can hold on to a playoff spot. Here's what McIntyre said on the Herd. "I'm not saying the sky's falling, but look at their schedule. Where are the next 2 wins? If they go 9-8, does that get them in? Are they in over Miami or Denver?" It's a valid point. Pittsburgh's remaining schedule is no walk in the park. We're facing division rivals twice in the Bengals and once each against the Browns and Ravens. Throw in matchups against Super Bowl contenders like the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles, and you've got one of the toughest closing stretches in the NFL. Let's break down the remaining games. Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals have struggled this season, but divisional matchups are always unpredictable. Pittsburgh must be ready for a battle. Cleveland Browns. After the recent loss, the Steelers will need to come out swinging to avoid another upset. Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are always a tough opponent, especially with the AFC North title potentially on the line. Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and company will test every aspect of our defense. Philadelphia Eagles. Arguably the best team in the league, the Eagles are a formidable challenge to close out the regular season. On paper, this schedule is brutal. But let's not forget what the Steelers have done this year. They're undefeated against teams with winning records, going 5-0. That includes key victories against the Ravens and the Washington Commanders. If there's a team built to weather this storm, it's Pittsburgh. Here's why I'm optimistic. Mike Tomlin. Yes, the Thursday night loss to the Browns was frustrating, but Tomlin has a history of getting his teams to rally in the later stages of the season. Since taking over in 2007, Tomlin's squads have consistently played their best football when it matters most. The key for Pittsburgh will be channeling that energy into focused, disciplined performances. We've already seen flashes of brilliance from this team, especially in tight games against tough opponents. The question is whether they can sustain it against this gauntlet of competition. The AFC North is one of the most physical and emotional divisions in football, and we've seen that intensity boil over in recent weeks. For example, Minkah Fitzpatrick was fined $11,255 for a skirmish in the win against Baltimore. On Thursday, George Pickens found himself in a post-game altercation with Browns cornerback Greg Newsome too. These incidents highlight the passion and fire within this team, but also underline the importance of maintaining discipline. As we face these high-stakes matchups, keeping emotions in check will be critical. Penalties and fines can shift momentum and hurt the team when it matters most. While the schedule is daunting, the Steelers have proven they can rise to the occasion. Let's not forget their resilience earlier this season. Wins against playoff-caliber teams like the Ravens and Commanders show this team's ability to perform under pressure. A strong defensive unit, led by T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward, has been the backbone of this squad. The offense, while inconsistent, has delivered in clutch moments. For Pittsburgh to secure a playoff spot, here's what they need to focus on. Consistency on offense. Kenny Pickett and the offensive line need to find their rhythm. Against elite defenses like the Eagles and Chiefs, every possession will count. Turnovers. The defense has been phenomenal at creating turnovers. Maintaining that pressure will be key to disrupting high-powered offenses. Discipline. Penalties and emotional outbursts need to be minimized. This team has the talent to win, they just need to stay focused. Special teams excellence. In tight games, a big play on special teams can be the difference maker. Chris Boswell and Presley Harvin III will need to be at their best. Steelers Nation, this is where you come in. We want to hear your thoughts. What record do you think the Steelers will finish with? Do you believe they'll win the AFC North or secure a wild card spot? Which game are you most worried about, and why? Drop your answers in the comments below. The Week 12 clash between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns was an instant classic. Snowflakes fell as the AFC North rivals battled it out in a game filled with tension, drama, and no shortage of controversy. In the end, the Steelers came up short, losing 24-19 in a game defined by razor-thin margins. With 4 lead changes and every moment magnified, the game highlighted just how critical every decision, play, and missed opportunity can be. Head coach Mike Tomlin faced heavy criticism for clock management issues, a crucial penalty that gave Cleveland an extra down, and some questionable late-game decisions. But the frustration wasn't limited to the sidelines. Steelers fans also had gripes with the officiating, including a missed holding call on Nick Herbig that set up a pivotal Browns touchdown. Even star quarterback Russell Wilson had a rough night, with costly turnovers adding to the uphill battle. However, one of the most talked-about moments post-game came from backup quarterback Justin Fields, who openly admitted his mistakes may have swung the outcome. Justin Fields hasn't had many opportunities to shine since joining the Steelers as a backup. But against Cleveland, he had his moments, both good and bad. Fields' highlight of the night was a spectacular 30-yard run in the second half. It was the kind of explosive play that could have been a game-changer. But instead of turning it into a 65-yard touchdown, Fields was forced out of bounds at Cleveland's 35-yard line. Speaking about the play post-game, Fields didn't shy away from accountability. "I should have scored. I'm sick about it. I've just got to make sure I'm warm on the sideline at all times. I kind of felt stiff on that one," he told reporters. The Steelers did score on the drive, but the extra 3 minutes they spent with the ball came back to haunt them later. Had Fields been able to take it all the way, the game might have unfolded differently. But that wasn't the only missed opportunity. Late in the fourth quarter, Fields failed to connect with wide receiver George Pickens on a critical third-down pass. Earlier in the game, a fourth-down rush attempt by Fields was stopped behind the line of scrimmage, stalling another drive. For Fields, these moments are tough to swallow, especially as a backup quarterback with limited opportunities to make an impact. Without consistent playing time, every mistake lingers longer. Fields' performance raises questions about his future with the Steelers and how he can contribute moving forward. Despite being relegated to a backup role behind Russell Wilson, Fields has shown flashes of the talent that made him a first-round pick in the NFL draft. However, the spotlight in Pittsburgh is unforgiving. Every mistake is magnified, especially when it comes in a game as important as this one. How Fields responds to this challenge will be crucial, not just for his career, but for the Steelers' season. Fields might get another shot at redemption as early as Week 13 against the Cincinnati Bengals. With the playoff race heating up, every game feels like a must-win, and the Steelers will need all hands on deck. It's impossible to say how Thursday night's game would have turned out if Fields had scored on his 30-yard run or connected with Pickens on that critical pass. But in a one-possession game, those missed opportunities loom large. The Steelers were forced to rely on a last-ditch Hail Mary attempt, which fell short as time expired. In the NFL, the margin between victory and defeat is razor-thin, and Pittsburgh learned that lesson the hard way in Cleveland. While Fields' self-critique grabbed headlines, the loss to Cleveland was a team effort, both in the good and the bad. Defense. Despite allowing key plays, the defense kept Pittsburgh in the game, as it has all season. Players like T.J. Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick continue to anchor one of the league's top units. Offense. Russell Wilson's turnovers were costly, and the offensive line struggled against Cleveland's pass rush. The unit will need to tighten up as the schedule gets tougher. Coaching. Mike Tomlin's game management remains a topic of debate. While his leadership is unquestioned, some of the late-game decisions against Cleveland raised eyebrows. With the loss to Cleveland in the rearview, the Steelers now face a critical stretch of games. Up next, a divisional showdown with the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals, despite their struggles this season, are always a dangerous opponent. For the Steelers, it's an opportunity to bounce back and reassert themselves in the AFC North race. As for Fields, it remains to be seen how much action he'll see moving forward. But one thing is clear, every player will need to step up if Pittsburgh wants to secure a playoff spot. Fan perspective, we want to hear from you. Steelers Nation, it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think the missed opportunities were the deciding factor in the loss? How do you feel about the team's chances heading into Week 13 and beyond? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. The road to the playoffs won't be easy, but when has it ever been for the Steelers? This team thrives in adversity, and with leaders like Mike Tomlin and Cam Hayward steering the ship, there's every reason to believe they'll rise to the challenge. If you're a true Steelers fan, now's the time to show your support. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends. Let's keep the faith and cheer our team to victory. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, here we go, Steelers.